Hi, everyone. Hello, chain breakers. My name is Shannon Savoy, certified life coach, speaker, advocate for domestic violence survivors and narcissist abuse survivors. And I want to welcome you to the narcfreeliving YouTube channel. So, if you're a part of our chain breaker family, welcome. And if you're new here, welcome as well. This channel is dedicated to survivors of narcissist abuse. It is my God given mission to help others and support others out of the bondage that is narcissist abuse. We discuss narcissism and spiritual warfare from a biblical perspective. I upload during the week and I premiere on Saturdays at 7 p.m. and we go live on Sundays at 7 p.m. CST as well. So today I'm going to share a portion of my experience with a suspected sociopathic narcissistic ex. And I have some tips on restraining orders or if you're thinking about obtaining one. All right, so stay tuned. And here is our thumbnail: narcissists and restraining orders. All right, let's get into it. So I wanted to talk, this question came up about restraining orders and narcissist abuse. And I actually forgot about this until someone recently reached out to me asking me about restraining orders. So this video is really for her. It's really for you all. And I thank her for trusting me and allowing me to share parts of my story so that others can have hope and learn the lessons learned. Okay. So just to set this scene up a little bit, because I'm going to go into the process and everything that I experienced. So during this time, y'all, when I look back at this and I read the things that I wrote, I was distraught. Okay. I felt alone. Even though, I had a victims advocate, when I went to court, and I joined every support group for survivors dealing with domestic violence and all of that. Because abuse can be extremely isolating. And even if you have family, even if you have people around you, it's still very isolating. Okay. So I had written letters. I had called the police. He got arrested twice and bailed out. And then, I was in the military. As most of you know, if you're a chain breaker here, but if you're new, I was in the military. I had served active duty Army for 23 years. So, I was like, wow. And so can you imagine, being an officer, being supposed to be a strong, woman, and I am, and I was strong then. But, I learned then that domestic violence does not discriminate. Narcissist abuse does not discriminate. And men and women alike go through it, So I learned some very key lessons then. But at the time, being in the military, it seemed like those in charge were only concerned about his rights and not my safety. Okay, so I'm going to read you a letter that I wrote. I wrote IG complaints. I talked to my commander, his commander, the chief of staff. Like I was like talking, okay, because he wasn't being removed from his position. By this time I had a TRO, I had a restraining order in place, but the military wasn't doing anything about it at the time. So, and this is not to bash the military or anything like that. And it's not the military, it was the people that were in charge, at the time. So I'm going to read you this letter because by this time I wrote a letter to U.S. Senator. If you're in the military or anything like that, you can even you can write a letter to a congressional letter to your senator. So I did that as well. So I wrote a letter to U.S. Senator Mazi Hirano, the senator of Hawaii. So I wrote a letter to a congressional, which I'm going to show you receipts. I'm going to show you some documentation so that anybody going through this can, just have hope. So I said, Aloha, Carlos. My concern is that the unit did nothing in response to the TRO and the order of protection violations. And I'm going to try to omit names, okay? They were slow to flag him. And for flag, that is like an administrative action where you don't receive favorable actions while in the military, okay? So they were slow to flag him even after I sent pictures of my busted nose to the command. Where he punched me in my face on the night of April 29th. The lieutenant colonel was also at the FAP CRC board, and that is a board where the military determines if you were abused, and it was substantiated as high for psychological and physical damage for me and moderate for my children. So we had to undergo a series of tests and evaluations. And the test came out high that I was abused and moderately that my children had been affected by this person. Okay. So, and I said in the letter, they did not, even after the board founded him substantiated of abuse, they did not flag him initially, nor did they move him out of his leadership position. He and the commander, he was the first sergeant of a unit at the time, and I was told a lot of things were done at the commander's discretion. So that already is a conflict of interest because he works alongside the commander who has the power to say that this is done at the commander's discretion. So it is a total conflict of interest, and why I could not expect impartiality from the commander. His rights are always the top priority. So this case has many, many layers. The omitted name, I won't say his name, has had 3 restraining orders for abuse, charges of assault from each of his wives, domestic violence charges, multiple DUIs, under multiple 15-6 investigations. Those are investigations that the Army does, the military does, committed acts unbecoming. I'll admit that. He has been able to keep civilian courts and military unaware of his activities. His mother, now a retired sergeant major, I won't say her name, and others helped keep these events from coming to light. And the mother would reach out to the other wives, in court cases to convince them not to go, because of course you don't want to mess up the narcissist's career and their livelihood. So one of his wives, she didn't go to the court date because the mother was able to convince her, you know how they do, make you feel guilty. Okay. So once he's investigated, he is moved from location to location. Okay, the new duty assignment and the women that are involved are totally unaware of his past and his patterns until he abuses the next person unbeknownst to the other women. No one is connecting the dots here, that this is a much bigger issue than my case alone. This is another reason I believe this case needs insight from beyond our unit. Each wife has had multiple police reports for assault and abuse. His mother was able to convince them to drop the charges or not show to the court hearing. However, the cases are documented. At the courthouse in Honolulu on 31 October 2016 for one of the TRO violations, the omitted person saw me enter the parking garage in my car. He was already parked. I drove up several levels to the 3rd floor so I would not interact with him because we had a restraining order at this time. As I was sitting in my car getting ready to exit, I noticed him walking to my car. I was in total shock that he had the audacity to violate the order at the courthouse. He was very persistent. And what I remember is it was almost time for our court date. And I'm like, oh, if I call the police, I'm going to be late. I should have called the police in hindsight. Okay. I cracked the window and told him to go away. And he knows that he is violating the order. I waited to see if he would leave. I was going to be late and I did not want to reschedule the court date, as court is already emotionally taxing. Any of you who have been through hearings and all they're going to do is just delay put motions in to delay the hearing and just keep doing that over and over. I walked briskly to the courthouse as he trailed behind me. There were people around, so I thought he would leave me alone. When I got close, I saw his commander. I'm going to the courthouse. You know, you have to get scanned in and all that. And his commander was coming to the security checkpoint. His commander saw him talking to me, clearly violating the military protective order and the temporary restraining order. He was speaking to me in a manner, first of all, he shouldn't have even been speaking to me. And then he was speaking to me in a manner that made me uncomfortable. Because he was trying, well, I love you. Can we work this out? He didn't love me. All he was trying to do was get me to, when we went into that courthouse, to drop the charges or to, just be quiet. I stood frozen, hoping his commander would help me. Once he saw his commander, he made a beeline over to him and acted as if nothing happened. His commander contacted me that afternoon. Me and my commander, I think it was the same day, via email, and asked if I was okay and if it had any other incidents occurred. I told them that they had. Now, how his commander didn't know, because the military and the civilian is two different systems. Okay, and this is a narcissist will always find a loophole, and this is how many military people get away with doing things in the civilian world, because one doesn't know about the other, and they're able to go from system to system doing things without anybody connecting the dots. Oh, but I connected these dots on him. Okay, and I probably will still never know, and I don't want to know. I'm just glad that he's out of my life. And I told him that he got counseled on a DA 4856, which is like a reprimand. And I believe that was it. They also could have ordered him to move into the barracks, especially since we live 2 miles away, but they did nothing. By this time, I had filed several police reports and was emotionally drained from reporting over and over with nothing happening. He was arrested and booked several times and was found guilty during a jury trial for one violation where he came to my home in the middle of the night. I reported several of the violations to my commander as well as his. I was continuously advised that there was an active Honolulu Police Department investigation, and the military could basically do absolutely nothing, which is in total contradiction to the MPO. Okay. Let me see. He could have snapped at any given time. And I know that I have done absolutely everything that I can do. This is me still reading this statement just so the senator knows and her representative knows what was going on. In his mind, he has done nothing wrong, and I am responsible in harassing him for calling the police in response to his violations. That's how narcissists think. That is the scary part. Even the judge could see the domestic violence classes that were ordered had no effect on him, that he takes no responsibility, and despite blaring truths and evidence that he adamantly denies abusing anyone. He was ordered to attend abuse classes, but I think he was acting as if he was the teacher of the classes, from what I was told. In his mind, he is the victim, and I am trying to ruin his career when I did everything to keep quiet and to try to get him help. The prosecutor for our brigade was very helpful, and our division was very helpful. A new prosecutor will be arriving soon, and I do not want the case to lose focus. It has been a long journey as we awaited the case to get turned over to the military jurisdiction in April. CID is conducting an investigation. I leave the island 1 July pending retirement. He will be forced to retire next year. We know investigation can take years. That's in military and civilian. It is my fear that he will abuse again, and time is of the essence. We went to court on 22 May 2017 to amend the order of protection. A second judge had findings of abuse and granted an expiration date of September 17, 2027. In court and on the court notes, it states that weapons provision is enacted. Okay, I won't, because military, if they founded for domestic violence, there's an act called the Lautenberg Act where it permits the service member from having weapons. And we know that service members need weapons to go to the range and to, go to war and do their job. Okay. I would like someone to look above our command to look into this. He has never been held responsible for his actions. He is a totally different person when enraged. Safety and justice are my primary concerns. 2 judges found that he should not have weapons. I have little faith in this command, a male dominated unit, to see the value in protecting a woman like me. They have shown that his rights are of the utmost importance and not my safety. I do understand rules, laws, and protocol. However, something should and could have been done when the order was violated time and time again. This person is absolutely charming and brilliant at what he does. He admits to nothing, even with voice recordings, photos, and a history of documented domestic violence. It is also why he has gotten away with abuse, DUIs, illegal activities, etc. for all these years. I understand why the first 2 wives essentially gave up. They were civilians. And this is exactly why victims remain quiet and abusers go on to abuse the next victim over and over. I am a soldier and it has made little difference. I have document numbers, police records, photos, inspector general inquiries, and other evidence. If you have any questions, please let me know. I can provide hard copies as well. I only want justice for myself and others. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you. I greatly appreciate Senator Hirano and staff for looking into this matter. Signed, CW4 Shannon. Shannon. I'll just leave it at that. My name wasn't Savoy then. Okay. So as you see, y'all, like, I don't know if you can hear that, and I will show y'all the receipts here in a little bit. And I forgot to mention, because somebody messaged me or left this on a post on Instagram today. Is it common that the abusers either file a restraining order against you or try to get you in trouble? And yes, absolutely, they will try to get you in trouble. Okay. And I forgot to mention his mother, his enabling mother, who we were fine before, I started talking about the abuse. She got an MPO she was able to get an MPO against me. I've totally forgot about this. So she was a reservist, like a reservist sergeant major, and she knew the sergeant major of the battalion that I was in, even though I was in division higher, but sergeant majors, I ranked a sergeant major, but when you're she was in a leadership position. So they went to school together. His mother, the sergeant major of my battalion, went to school together or at the same time. So she called the sergeant major of my battalion and told her that I was a threat because I had written, at the time when the abuse came out, I had written a note. His aunt asked me what was going on. I sent her a text message. It was long. I sent her a text message saying that, that he was abusive and that he is going to pay for what he did to me and others. And, I said something about God and all this other stuff. So they were able to take that. And I didn't say anything vulgar. I didn't, anything like that. But see, I didn't know how narcissists work. Otherwise, I would have just shut up. You know what I mean? But they told the sergeant major told the lieutenant colonel, and this lieutenant colonel gave me an MPO against his aunt. So I could no longer which I wasn't anyway. I can no longer reach out to his aunt. So this is the games, Buffalo Buttercup. This is the games that narcissists pay or play. Okay. So now I'm the victim. All right. I'm the person that has been abused, who, like, at this time I felt like so unprotected. Okay. But they were able to take a text message and go to my command to get an MPO against me, but wasn't even enforcing the MPO that I had against him for abuse. So these are the things that narcissists play. I was like, this cannot be happening. I was like, God, like, how much more of this do you want me to take? You know what I mean? Like, my life was revolving around, court cases and going to court and documenting and everything. So, and on top of retiring and taking care of my kids and moving from Hawaii to Texas. Like so much was going on. Okay. But my point in telling you that is the narcissists and their flying monkeys will try everything they can to re-traumatize you and to get you back for going against the grain. That is in your family, that is with a narcissist of any kind of friend, whatever. Okay, so this process is not for the weak. Okay, but they got the right one because I don't run from cowards. Okay, so I fought with everything in me, and I never want this to happen to anyone else. And then I got to thinking, like, if this could happen to me, if a senior officer, what was happening to privates? What was happening to specialists and sergeants and other officers? So I was like, what is going on? Okay. So that leads me to this part. How does a narcissist react when a restraining order is served against them? Oh, they throw a temper tantrum. Certain probably like cerebral narcissists, they probably just go quiet. But other narcissists, overt narcissists, oh, they're not taking that very well. Neither is a covert narcissist either. They're just gonna, be more passive, aggressive, about how they go about getting you back. All right. So let's go. Let me share before I get into the questions that someone asked me. I'm going to share my screen. And let's see. So this is a copy of my restraining order. So I went before, and as I said in that message, I had a 6-month TRO, okay, which of course he kept violating. So we were going to court for that. And so prior to me leaving the island, and I know this was God, he just told me to go back to court to amend it to get a longer, expiration date. And I asked for 1 year or 3 years or something like that. I can't even remember what I asked for initially. All right. But the judge ended up finding him to be non-credible because he admitted, because narcissists talk so much during court, as you're going to know, he admitted to violating the order and by reaching out to a third party. Okay. So they sometimes, God will just, the trash will just take care of itself. They'll just talk themselves right into talking too much where it benefits you. And that's exactly what he did in this case. So let me see, what else did I want to show you? So this is when I represented myself after I had an attorney for a certain period. Then for that one, I had, when I went back to get it amended, the TRO amended, I represented myself pro se. I learned a lot about the legal process. Y'all, it was like I was like researching out like narcissists, researching going to court with narcissists, researching things that I could do, researching the judges, I was just like, I'm not going through this again, and I don't want anybody, not on my watch. Okay. So this was, when I represented myself, I had the documents, and I went to the court and got the exhibit list. Some of you may have to do that. Familiarize yourself with the legal process and how things work. Okay. Google is your friend. Reach out, especially if you are a victim of domestic violence. Like I had advocates that went to court with me. I had access to legal, and plus I was in the military too, so I had access to legal, which I use. They're on base, and then you have access as a survivor of domestic violence as well. So I was trying to use everything that I could. Okay. And I learned about, submitting my documentation, learned about, the court process, so I wouldn't be blindsided and all that. So my point is, learn about it, even if you have to do pro se, as my brother Rizzo has said, even if you have to go pro se, make sure that you are familiar. Don't go in there blinded. I had my stuff tabbed out, printed out, like ready to go. The day of court, I had my notes, I had everything that I needed. So that's how you have to be. You have to be strategic. Don't go in there with your tears. Okay. Don't go in there with your tears and no game plan. You go in there professional. You go in there dressed accordingly, dressed proper, however you can do that. You go in there representing yourself because you, even if you have a lawyer, you are your best advocate. Okay. And let me see what else I wanted to share. That was the initial TRO, which, as you can see, the dates, the hearing dates, that's what that looks like if you have to do that. And then, of course, those, and I didn't even put all of them in here. The anytime, well, not anytime, most times when he contacted me, I would call the police, and then I got tired of, I got tired of calling, which the judge reprimanded me for, because you should always call the police. All right. And then this is just, let me see, is this the one that, oops, I don't want to show that one. This is the one that, let me see, where is it? No, this one. Yes. This is the one that, y'all, this is all the times we went to court, all the motions filed, and this is only the first page. So this is just the first page, and you can see where he like posted bail when he got arrested for violating the order. Like, y'all, when I look back on this, I don't know how, like, I was in my right mind. I really don't. So if you're going through this, it's going to be times where you like zone out, where you don't know your comings from your goings, and as you can see, y'all, look right here. He was found not guilty for violating the order. Now, I don't know if I have my surveillance cameras. Of course, he knew where the surveillance camera was. So when he came to my home, he knew where the cameras were and how to walk on the side of the house. He walked on the side of my house and tapped on the window and asked me to come outside with a restraining order. So when I called, and my mistake was that I called the police like hours later. I was sitting there contemplating, like, what should I do? And this was one of the very first ones. So that's why I'm such an advocate for people getting restraining orders, especially if you have proof of violence, especially if you have proof of a pattern, and especially if you fear your life. Okay. I didn't know what he was capable of, but he was found not guilty. And I believe it was because I did not report it as soon as it happened. So that's why you report it as soon as it happened in the location where it happened. Don't wait till you get home. That's a different jurisdiction. File the restraining or file the police report, call the police or go to that police station. It's usually better just to call the police right where you are. Okay, so they can come out, give you a report, and they're going to give you a document like I just showed you. Okay, and then this is when we went back. And if I have that, this is where I wanted to show y'all this, because this was such a win. After the jury trial, he was found not guilty. I felt like found not guilty. You feel defeated, but I was like still keeping my faith. And in this, I was so happy when I went back to court, and I'm glad I didn't stop fighting for the restraining order because the judge found him not to be credible. And that's what it says in there. I don't want to read the whole thing, but the judge found him not to be credible and me to be trustworthy. And y'all, when you are a survivor going through this, because by this time, I had talked to so many people. I had talked to a lot of people, and they probably were tired of me by this time. If you start talking, people get tired of your stuff. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear it after a certain time. So, but when she told me that she believed me, the judge, it was, every time I hear that, it's like, I believe you. When someone believes you, it's like, somebody believes me, and then God will always send you that one person. So don't stop fighting, because God will send you that one person who believes you. I am a witness. Okay. So it is important. And I thought it was important to share the documents, not to blast anybody. I tried to omit his name and all that. Who cares? It's public. It's on the public site in Hawaii. So if the name shows, so be it. But I thought it was important because I want you to understand, if you're just getting into this process or divorcing a narcissist, especially one that is abusive, these are the things that you will face, more or less. So don't stay because you are afraid. A lot of people or don't get the restraining order because you fear the narcissist, or this will make them angry if I do that. They're not your concern in that aspect. Okay, a restraining order does not protect you. A restraining order is a piece of paper that says that they can't come in within a certain, range of you. Okay, the court has awarded that because there is a proven or suspected pattern, and you will have to go to court to defend the restraining order for it to stay in place. But if you've done your work and have your documentation and all that, file it. Okay, it is not going to get better, and it could cost you or your children or your other loved ones safety if you don't. Okay, and I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I've seen. I'm telling you what I've experienced, and I'm telling you what I know. And keep in mind that whatever you do will be used against you. So if you violate your order and talk to that narcissist, they're going to use that against you. If you speak with them, and most of the time, like with my ex, he would text me via third party apps or something, and I would just include that when I went to court. All right. And if you speak with them, or if you sign away your rights saying no, you don't want to prosecute or any of that, if that's, if your situation is that severe, I've talked to women and clients who have done that, and they regret it. Okay, they regret it, y'all. And then like sometimes the narcissist will try to woo you back. Okay, so just understand what you're dealing with. You really have to understand the mentality and mindset of a narcissist. So if you don't show up to your hearing, you will regret it. Okay, I'm telling you, that's what happened with the ex's ex. Okay, one of the ex-wives, she didn't show up. The mother was able to convince her to not show up to court, and I was number 3. You know what I mean? Amongst many others who have even girlfriends who have not come forward. So, but as I said before, narcissists do not believe that any court order applies to them. Okay, so if you have a restraining order, still do what you must do to protect yourself. I have hollow points. I have all kind of stuff. Okay. And that was even before, I remarried. I've always been an advocate. Probably I grew up around guns, so that doesn't scare me. But if you don't like guns in particular, get you mace, get you something, have you something to protect yourself. That is the bottom line. A restraining order is a piece of paper. Okay. So please understand that. What else? So expect a hoover prior to the court dates, like clockwork. Anytime we were getting ready to go to court, flowers would show up to my door. His friends would reach out to me, which they weren't supposed to be doing. He would contact try to find they're always looking for a loophole. Okay. And they would try to always hoover you back. Expect the hoover. Don't be like flattered by a narcissist hoover. A lot of us, I've seen questions on Quora or other sites. Well, the narcissist isn't hoovering me. Thank God. Don't be so rejected and so low in self-esteem that you think that if a narcissist is not hoovering you, that you are aware of, the narcissist is not hoovering me. Thank God the narcissist is not hoovering you that you know of. They're usually always hoovering you, unless they are, like a different lower grade type narcissist. Okay. But it is definitely not out of love. It is out of power and control. Okay. And if you can afford it, obtain you an attorney, obtain you legal counsel. Okay. You definitely want to do that. All right. All right. And then be prepared. Be prepared for that smear campaign to ensue, and it will be bad. Okay, it will be bad because they are losing control of you. So now they must control how others view you. All right. And then do not attempt to get a restraining order to teach someone a lesson. I've seen people do this as well. Oh, this will teach him a lesson. This will teach her a lesson. No, you do that because you are afraid of your safety, okay? Not because you want to play games and play tit for tat. A narcissist will try to file a restraining order in retaliation against you. They absolutely will. Even though they're the abuser, they will try to retaliate against you, okay? Um, and then stay calm when reporting, okay? Stay calm when reporting. The police do not know who the narcissist is, okay? They don't. They don't. So it is up to you to prove that the narcissist called you. It is up to you to call when they call the 911 when they do violate the order, okay? What else? Yes, keep your phone on you at all times, because you may need to record, you may need to record a voice memo or a video or something, but be prepared, all right? Yeah, you have to be mentally strong. This is a sick game, no more, no less to the narcissist, okay? All right. And as I said before, if you speak with them, if you sign away your rights, you'll regret it. I'm telling you, okay? You will likely regret it. So show up to your hearing, show up prepared, show up. Going to court, it is, I've been to court too many times with this person that I can't even count. It is taxing, okay? And those of you who have children with narcissists or try to divorce a narcissist, they all do the same thing. They drag out court dates. They extend. I forgot exactly what it's called. It's slipping my mind right now, but I should know it. It should be right there at the top of my mind because that's all they did was delay motions. That's all his court-appointed defense attorney did. All right. Yes. I said that already. If you can afford it, call an attorney. Call them. Yes. And as I said before, call wherever you are at the moment of incident. Okay. Don't forget that one. All right. And then when you go to court, this is it. This is it, y'all. The day of court. I know with domestic violence situations, like he was on one side, they separated us. He got a band. I got a different color band. Like all the suspected abusers were in one area. All the victims were in another area along with our advocates. Okay. So, but when you go in there into the courtroom, I pray that you have an advocate. If you don't, that's fine. Be strong. It's going to be nerve-wracking. Expect your nerves to be in a, bundle, okay? And expect the lies. They are going to come out and it's going to come out of nowhere. You're going to be like, what in the world did this, what, huh? And it may be a little bit of truth with, y'all, them bombs going to be dropping. Those bombs are going to be dropping. So understand that you may not be believed, and also that you may be believed, but you may not be able to prove your burden with your proof. Okay, so the burden of proof lies with you. All right, but just like with the jury trial, he was found not guilty, but I didn't give up. And then God had to show me to let things go. I had did what I was supposed to do, and now I had to turn it over to God to handle the rest. All right. And understand, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Okay. And that's where a lot of people go to court, because the narcissist is not going to come in there with anything. They're going to come in there with a whole bunch of lies unless you got a real savvy, usually real resourceful narcissist. But the average low narcissists, they're not. They're going to come in there armed with their charm and their lies, and they're good at it. That's the thing. They are definitely good at it. Okay. And if you are in a domestic violence situation, you want to make sure that you have a good safety plan. And in order for your safety plan to work, you must be really honest with yourself when filling out that safety plan. You must have it accessible and easy to locate. All right. And think about giving it to someone or emailing it or actually probably hand giving it to someone, because a lot of narcissists cyber stalk, and they're able to get in your email and erase things. Okay, so if you don't feel safe keeping the safety plan or an emergency contact with you, you still use the safety plan in there. And this is where you can, this will, at this site, it will take you step by step on how to create a safety plan. All right. Even if you're not in a domestic violence situation and you want to get out with the narcissist, it's still good to have you a safety plan, because leaving a narcissist is not like leaving a regular relationship. And I forgot to, a safety plan is a set of actions that lowers your risk of being hurt by your partner. So you can imagine you need that if you're with a narcissist. Okay. So those are some resources that I wanted to provide as we start to wrap up here. I spoke with an advocate. I didn't dial this line, but I have spoken with an advocate. All right. And that is a number as well. And you can call them, you can text or create a chat and talk with them. Okay. And understand that as you go through this, it's going to hit on every emotion you have. Okay. That fear of abandonment, you're going to want closure. You're going to have trauma bond. Your soul is going to feel like it's being ripped. The narcissist is going to try to make you feel guilty. You're going to feel worthless. You're going to feel alone, but you're not. You're not worthless, and you're certainly not alone. It will feel like that, but God is always with you. Okay, so when you go no contact, you really have to make up in your mind that this is what you want to do, and you have to keep in your mind why you are doing this in the first place. Okay, you're not doing this to make the narcissist mad. You're not doing this to get back at them. You're doing this because you need this. Okay, you need this as a way to show that you are serious about keeping your safety. Your safety is paramount. Okay, and if you violate it, you show that you're not really scared of this person. You're not really scared of this person, and that's how the court is going to take it. But understand that these feelings are temporary, okay? They are temporary, all right? You will get past, you're going to feel like you want to go back because your body physiologically is coming off the high. You want that oxytocin hit, your serotonin, all your levels are going to be like spazzing out. You're going to have you're likely going to have PTSD, okay? But it's going to pass. It is going to get better as you begin to do your work to heal. Okay. So, some narcissists disappear with a restraining order. They don't bother you, but some will stalk and violate restraining orders. Okay. They will. They absolutely will. And then they'll say things like, why are you giving up on us? They'll act like they want to kill themselves. Let me tell you this. Hear me when I say this. They don't want to kill themselves. They're narcissists. Hello, they're narcissists. They already have they're insecure, but they have an overflated sense of ego. Okay, they really don't want to harm themselves. They're not really suicidal. Okay, they want to hurt you. They want to hurt your family, and in some severe cases, they'll harm your children, your family, before they do that to themselves. Okay, and if they take themselves out, they'll take you out first. Okay, so they are inherently selfish. Their goal is to harm you and others, not themselves. So don't take the bait with, oh, I'm suicidal, I feel like killing myself, no one will ever love me or ever love you as much as I do. Watch Solomon's faith-based workplace video on 10 things that narcissists say. They love to say no one will ever love you as much as I do. Gosh, I hope not. Okay, they don't love. I thought we were going to stick this out. You're the love of my life. All these things, you're going to hear all these things. They are trying to appeal to your emotions. That's what a narcissist does. They appeal to your emotions, your empathy, your sympathy. You're okay. And they are charming, and they will do and say whatever they have to do to bait you back in. All right. And it's times when you're estranged, they may, through third person or third party, try to reach out to you. They're going to tell everybody that it's your fault, that they don't know why that you're acting like this. And then you're gonna, if you go back, they're gonna rage against you. Okay, they're going to rage against you. If you go back, the abuse will get worse. In their minds, they must pay you back for leaving or attempting to leave in the first place. Okay, so if you go and stay away from them. All right, you may have to go to a shelter. Do what you have to do. Things can be replaced. A lifestyle can be replaced. And if you think that staying for the kids is good, it's not. Okay, I'm a child that lived in a narcissistic home. It is not. Ask around. A lot of us are survivors, are adult survivors of narcissist abuse. We wish, our parent left. Okay, so don't do that. And I cannot stress this enough. Document everything. Document, document, document. It is going to seem like a full-time job, but document everything. Again, you are your best advocate. You have to keep your mind sane and yourself together. All right. So, and then you're going to have to take a look at you. In situations where I messed up because I didn't report as soon as it happened. I messed up, first of all, about marrying a narcissist. Okay. So I had to take accountability of myself. Okay. You're going to have to take stock of your life and where you want it to be. Call each time right away. Do not feel sorry for them. They are demonic and they will hurt you. All right. That's emotionally, that's physically, however they can do it, psychologically, however they can do it. They will try to hurt and harm you. Okay. So if you're on Clubhouse, if you're on, let me plug Clubhouse for just a second. We have, it's really support groups for narcissist survivors, and we're there Tuesdays and every other Thursday. We just held one yesterday on healing from childhood trauma, and we'll be back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. CST. So if you're not on Clubhouse, get on there if you have an iPhone, and if you do, we appreciate you joining us. We're expanding our Chainbreaker family. Those rooms are awesome, y'all. I can tell you that. All right. But and then if you're not, join if you have local support groups for narcissist survivors or domestic violence survivors, join them. I went to every type of support group I could find, y'all. And I sit in there in the circle chairs, in the circle with my name is Shannon. And it wasn't like that. But and not to laugh at that, but y'all, I was serious. I was like, I want to heal. I'm not going through this again. I don't have it in me for to go through 2 and 3 narcissists, being married to 2 and 3 narcissists. Like I don't have that in me, and I was married for 2 years and that was all I could take. All right. So don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. These rooms exist to help you. All right. And even if you find them online or wherever you can find them, find them. They're out there. Okay. Don't be embarrassed. People are ashamed that they've gone through this. Y'all, you can't be ashamed and want healing at the same time. You can't be ashamed and don't want to use your voice and don't want to do the things that you need to do in order to heal. You either want your healing or you don't. And I did, and I went after it. And you're going to have to do the same thing. Okay. And if you're doing the work, awesome. All right. And I can tell you, it seems like a lonely time, but God was strengthening me during that time. He was building my dependence on him and not man. All right. Some of you are going to have family, but people really don't get this. Most really don't unless they've been through it. Okay. So, and then you get tired of calling them for every little thing. So I learned to call and cry out on the name of Jesus, on the name of Yeshua to help save me. Okay. So reach out to me, reach out to others who get it. Okay. Let me make sure I put, let's see, my website on here. Yes. All right. So I believe you. Tell your story. There is such power in telling your story. I didn't want to tell my story, y'all. I really didn't. I was like, God, like I said this time and time again, I just want to heal. But God said, no, you have to talk about these things. And I talk about whether it's a narcissistic family or my narcissistic, or not the narcissistic ex. I don't say these things to bash them, because I really couldn't care less about any of those. I really couldn't. They've made their choice, and that's what they want to be, and I, just remove myself from people's lives who are narcissistic. Okay. So I can't cover everyone's situation. So if there's something you want addressed on a future video, or you want to send me a question, please visit my website. If you need life coaching services, visit the website, www.narcfreeliving.com. And on the front page right there, or the frequently asked questions section, it will tell you how to book a session. Okay. Yeah, my life was like a Lifetime movie. It was so many things that I don't remember until like I go back and read a journal, or like I'm going through like my old email account and I'm like, well, or somebody asked me a question. I'm like, that happened to me too. So I just want to share this experience with you. And I want to leave you with this word. For those of you that think that narcissists will evade judgment, they will not. They will never show you on social media that they are not doing well. Their life is always going to seem outstanding. They're always going to seem like they're, just living the life and having a good time. You can't live a good time tormented by demons. You can't. And they are tormented by demons, y'all. Okay. It is demonic. And once you know that, if you stay with the narcissist, you will have to sacrifice your life. If you have children, you are sacrificing their life in order to stay in that narcissistic relationship. Okay. All right. And it won't be good. It won't be. You cannot. All right. You can, but you really shouldn't. All right. So do whatever you can to take care of you and protect yourself. Allow God to take care of them. Vengeance is His. Okay. And He can do it better than you ever could. I don't wish my ex I don't wish them good or bad. You know what I mean? I don't. It is what it is. He's probably reprobate. And so he's not my concern. My concern is to share these things with others so that that there's a better way out there, and to protect yourself. And so in closing, let me see where this is. I'm going to read a little bit of Psalms 91 as we depart, okay? So whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, and my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and your rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by the day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall on your side, 10,000 may fall on your right, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent, for He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all of your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra, and you will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because He loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I satisfy him and show him my salvation. You better know it like you know it. You have to get it in your head that whatever the narcissist does, as long as you have God on your side, they cannot harm you. Okay? And don't be afraid of a lying, losing demon. The enemy has already lost the battle. The only way that they can continue to win is if you give up your fight and if you give them your power. Don't give them your power. Don't give them your power. You are already in a winning position. Okay, the battle is not yours. It is the Lord's. All right. So chain breakers, if this video has blessed you in any way, I invite you to please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification so you will be notified of future videos, all right, when they are uploaded. Make sure you share this with others, engage in the live chat and comment section. And if you have a suggestion for a future video, then let me know and I'll try to release a video on that subject. All right. So once again, please subscribe and I look forward to talking to you on a future video. And I'll be live tomorrow, Sunday at 7 p.m. All right, chain breakers. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless you. Break those chains. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Check it out, yo. Feel the rhythm on the bass bar, man. I feel the rhythm on the bass bar.